I am the great Tasting Nades, and also joining us today, the infamous Big White Angus.
Hello everybody, thanks for watching. I'm the Big White Angus.
And I am the Tasty Nades.
As you probably have heard, Activision and Sledgehammer have revealed the next installment of the Call of Duty franchise, World War II.
Yes.
So we're going to be going back to boots on the ground, which some people, I'd probably say most people prefer that, especially the old school gamers like myself.
And me.
But we're going to go back to boots on the ground. You can kind of think of it as a la Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1 and 2, those kind of games.
It's been over a decade since they've made an actual World War II Call of Duty, so we'll see how that goes. Right.
And of course this one is the epic setting of World War II. Big battles, important events in history. The World War II game will feature real locations across Europe as you play in the first Infantry Division, making your way through Europe.
Yeah, so real locations across Europe. Well, the reveal trailer showed us you played as a Private Red Daniels storming the beaches of Normandy. It looked super realistic, bullets flying around everywhere. It looked really intense, really realistic, and also really gory. You saw as the other soldiers were piling out of the boats, they were getting shot by these big MG guns, blood splattering everywhere. Just seemed like a really intense moment. We'll jump to it a little bit later, but like I said, so you play as Private Red Daniels, a young recruit. He hasn't seen a lot of battle yet, but as I mentioned, you storm the beaches of Normandy. You also make your way through the streets of Belgium, through the streets of France. So it's got some open warfare. They even had some vehicles as well. Look like they incorporated the use of tanks and planes. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe it's got a little bit of a battlefield, kind of a half battlefield, half old school Call of Duty kind of feel.
Sure, possibly, and of course, we saw in the trailer they've got some great voice acting. Josh Duhamel is leading that effort. You've probably seen him in movies such as Transformers. So definitely looks to be a star-studded cast there as well.
Yeah, and as Angus hinted at earlier, one thing that kind of sets this Call of Duty apart that has me personally excited is it is back to boots on the ground. So it kind of has that old school feel. It differs from today's modern style. What would you call it? The pinball? The pinball style of bouncing around everywhere,
yes,
ball running?
Yes, the jetpacks definitely, that we saw in Advanced Warfare, obviously Infinite Warfare, Black Ops 3, the players were just jumping around everywhere. Again, as an older gamer, that's a little tough for my reactions to handle. So I actually like the idea of boots on the ground. At the same time, I didn't mind the jetpacks as much. I felt like they were probably the worst in Advanced Warfare. You push the jetpack in there and you're shooting 30 feet, instantly in any direction. You were teleporting like Nightcrawler off X-Men.
Yep.
It was just unreal. The later games, it wasn't as bad. It was just kind of a lighter touch as far as the jetpacks go.
Yep.
So, but I didn't mind the newer futuristic feel, but at the same time, I'm definitely excited to see them go back to boots on the ground. It stands to bring its own drawbacks, such as campers.
Yeah.
Obviously campers, to me, camping can be an absolute legit strategy.
Well, holding down an area strategically, as you would say. Let's just go ahead and make that differentiation. We're not campers. We're strategic area holding down.
Oh, I'm a camper. I'll put my tent, my fire,
fine.
set
I'm
my
a camper.
little fold-out chair.
Yes,
I'm perfectly fine with it as long as it's used effectively.
Yeah, and one thing about kind of like Angus hinted at earlier was, since we are going back to boots on the ground, the question of, well, what else are they going back to? In the big reveal Wednesday, they hinted at one of the things that they were actually going to do is kind of go back to this more gamer to character connection. They want you to feel connected to the characters. They said they really want to put an emphasis on that. And also, one thing that the person you play as, Private Red Daniels, they say that you're just your group that you're in. I can't think of the platoon name offhand, but the group that you're in, it's just kind of a bunch of regular, ordinary people, and you kind of build these bonds. And then your commanding officer, one of your best friends as well, he's kind of all about the mission, and whereas you're so more about the moral, so it's kind of going back to this man versus mission concept. feeling close to the gamers, closer connections. So that's one thing to watch out for too. We'll see if they can do that well. Call of Duty's really been known for its multiplayer in the last couple of years, and it'd be nice to bring back that campaign. I can remember my roots on COD 4.
Right, yeah. I mean, it definitely looks to be dark and gritty. The art direction, as we saw in the reveal trailer, definitely looks to go that way as well. It definitely has a much darker, deeper feel to it than what we've seen in most recent games. Obviously one of my favorites was Modern Warfare 2. I've always felt that had an outstanding campaign, great multiplayer, very balanced, great maps, such good memories with Modern Warfare 2.
Yep. And one thing that Sledgehammer did mention is that the one thing that they really wanted this to be was realistic. So they had an on-site historian talking about the actual mechanics of the guns, reloading, the recoil on them. They even went back and watched films to make sure that to watch how the soldiers actually fought, how they moved, how they even interacted with one another. They said that Sledgehammer said they spent over 2 years on this game. They also were the developers of Call of Duty Advanced Warfare and Modern Warfare 3. So to see them kind of take an old school kind of step back from all that, we'll see how they do in the game. I have high hopes for it myself.
Yeah, I know they went to the gun range with these weapons from the time period to check the recoil and the reloading, as you mentioned, and different aspects of the gun to try to give the players a true feel to the weapons. I still have my concerns over it being truly authentic. I know they said they brought the historian in and did a lot of research, went to the actual locations. Again, just to try to really immerse the player in the war itself. But, I've seen games being called authentic before, including Call of Duty games. There's been some of the futuristic games that have been called authentic.
No.
And, I don't know how they can take that direction, with an authentic futuristic game. But I do definitely have my hopes that it does give a great feel. Obviously, the trailer looked fantastic. We don't really know much about the multiplayer at this point. We're going to find out more at E3, so we're definitely looking forward to that. But some of the things we have heard about is that you won't have regenerating health. So
it's a big one.
Yeah, so that can bring in some different aspects into it. Maybe there's a medic style class that we might see in the multiplayer. You never know. Definitely in the campaign we've heard that ammo isn't going to be readily available. It's going to be kind of a true experience to where you'll really try to conserve ammo. If you need ammo, you might have to get it from one of your squad mates.
One of the NPCs.
So it's definitely looking to be a more realistic experience. We're hoping it's not going to be a 100% realism experience.
Yeah, that's actually recently I reviewed Battlefield 1. One thing that Battlefield has over Call of Duty, good or bad depending on how you look at it, is it does give you that overly realistic experience. The health is very, very slow to regenerate. The spawns can be a little all over the place depending on the map. Also, the maps are a little bit bigger in general. You have squads, so Battlefield kind of takes a very realistic approach, whereas Call of Duty's always been known for its more kind of competitive edge, general skill set. You don't have to account for all the bullet drop and stuff. So maybe with this game, like we mentioned earlier, is maybe it could be somewhere in the middle, kind of a happy medium. So
right, and these are definitely two of the most hardcore fan bases in the industry. It's Call of Duty and Battlefield. You will rarely find anybody who likes them both. You will rarely see two people who will talk positively about both games. Usually, if you like one, you're going to badmouth the other and trash talk it. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah, that's actually one thing I tried to not give so much in my review. Although I wasn't the biggest fan of Battlefield, it is two different fan bases, two different game styles. Each one has their pros and cons. But yeah, they're definitely die hard. So if this could start this game. Call of Duty World War II could start to kind of bridge the gap a little bit.
It could be. At the same time, I don't want to see it bridge the gap too much.
Right.
For me personally, I like Call of Duty. I like the way it is. Some people, again, a lot of your Battlefield fans will go straight against me on that. I'm sure I might get some hate mail for it, but I don't want to see them bridge it too much. I don't want to see them go too far. I'm definitely all for innovation. and I hope that they add some great new features in this game. One of the new features they're adding is something that's called War Mode. It's a new mode of multiplayer. We still don't know everything about it, but we do know that it's an objective-based, definitely team-focused multiplayer that Call of Duty hasn't seen before. Some people are thinking it's going to be similar to Battlefields in the essence that, you'll go capture objectives. The multiplayer games in this mode will obviously last a lot longer than your traditional team deathmatch or anything like that. But it is a new direction for Call of Duty that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, and another thing they revealed, let's just go ahead and jump into some of the big reveals, some of the shockers of this one. They did mention there's going to be a lot of kind of firsts for Call of Duty. Another one of those being headquarters. So sure. Headquarters kind of seem like a place where you could. They didn't give a lot. It was just it was a very sneak peek. That's a sneak is really to define what that was. But it seems like a place where characters can kind of mingle with one another in between games. Sure. There's a lot of speculation.
Sure, yeah. You can think about it as such of like Destiny's tower.
Yep.
Just kind of a hub where players can mingle, or obviously in Destiny we've seen dance parties where you just walk up to a group of 10 people just dancing for absolutely no reason.
I wouldn't mind that in Call of Duty though. See somebody doing the dab.
I would definitely mind that, and please don't ever do that again.
I'm sorry. Sticking with the times.
That's for you. But again, that's something else that's new as well. So it's good to see Call of Duty trying these different things. While the majority of the Call of Duty fan base has asked and begged for them to go back to the roots of boots on the ground combat.
Years, I've been begging for it for years.
Absolutely. At the same time, we definitely still want to see innovation. We still want to see progression. So it's good to see them taking new directions. Another new direction that they're taking, which again we don't know a lot about at this point, is multiplayer progression. It could be potentially a new ranking system.
Divisions.
With divisions. All we really know at this point is that your character will enlist in one division where you will rank up, kind of make your way through those ranks.
All right, so that was divisions. That's something that we're looking forward to, a new ranking system. They say it's really going to change how you rank up. You hinted at the medic class earlier.
Right. And, of course, along with divisions could come a new challenges system.
Yeah.
I personally am a huge fan of challenges. Every Call of Duty, I've always tried to get as many, if not all, of the multiplayer challenges.
Please, someone leave a comment recognizing him for Dark Matter camo.
Yes, so I did earn Dark Matter camo in Black Ops 3. It is quite the achievement.
It's all about that KD, baby.
I've almost got Solar in Infinite Warfare, and of course the Black Sky's next after that.
Madness. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see the twist that they put on that. Maybe make it interesting. I'm all about that KD, so it won't bother me any. But the last thing they revealed was the return of Nazi zombies.
Yes.
And they looked sick.
Yes. All we really know at this point is that it's going to have kind of a separate storyline to it, that to where the Third Reich is trying to create an unstoppable army. And that's really all we know about at this point. We saw a quick screenshot render of one of the zombies, and they look great in my opinion. Yeah,
the last zombie mode that I guess I played a lot of was World at War. And of course they had Nazi zombies on there, and it was an awesome experience. I kind of got out of zombies after that. Just life hit. But it's going to be interesting to see if maybe they can bring back this actual storyline, because before zombies was just, let's see how the highest level you can get. So if there's maybe a storyline to go along with it, it's maybe a definite kind of new turn, new twist on zombies. I think that would be something that the game needs.
Sure, absolutely. There's a huge fan base for Call of Duty Zombies out there, so it's great to see them bring them back. Hopefully something that will please them as well. Back to the multiplayer side a little bit. We did get teased with some of the new weapons coming. We saw one of my personal favorite classes, which is the LMG. I'm a huge just pray and spray, just sit back and just lay down cover fire for days. Clips as big as a house. That's what I like.
The hint on the campaign of the guy up in the bunker too, laying waste to the soldiers.
Absolutely, you can't get any better than that.
Yep. And then also my personal favorite, to kind of go the polar opposite there, is SMGs. We saw the grease gun was a mention that they showed. They didn't show a lot of them, but they did show an SMG known as the grease gun. So that's got me pumped up.
It doesn't have a big enough clip for me. Size matters when it comes to clips.
Well, that's a matter of opinion. But
everybody's entitled to opinion, even if they're wrong.
Well, Matt, you're all about the big. I'm all about the small and fast. You know,
Sure,
get in,
sure.
get out.
You know, we also saw the flamethrower coming
Yes.
back. You know, a lot of people
Yes.
love the flamethrower. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but hey, you know.
It felt so good. Those night scenes when you have a flamethrower, you pop around the corner and you just light some people up, some campers in the corner, maybe with an LMG. But give me some grease, give me some flames, and let me go. That's all I need.
See, campers don't really bother me as much. Again, maybe it's because
Of course not.
Maybe it's because I tend to sometimes maybe be a camper myself. But you know, for me, you know, if you got a camper, just toss a couple frags under his nuts. He'll move.
Maybe, unless he's got overshields or blast shields, whatever they call it nowadays. Apparently that would, the war machine, that actually drove me crazy, hitting somebody with blast shield with a war machine that should have killed him one shot. Stupid. Anyway.
But, you know, we're excited to see definitely some of the new weaponry. You know, some of the old school tacticals will be cool to see what they implement, as well as the kill streaks or score streaks, depending on which way they go. You know, there's definitely some nice potential there for some cool stuff.
And hopefully, Sledgehammer said that they wouldn't do this, but hopefully it's not going to be a pay-to-win kind of style. Now, some of you may say that the current Call of Duty is not pay-to-win. I would beg to differ unless you want to put in thousands and thousands of hours, because the epic variants, each gun has its own variant. That's stupid. I think everybody should be on the same playing field, have the same guns, and it's just going back to skill and tactics, and that's it. And that's one thing that I hope we go back to, because my KD will rise again.
And
from the ashes.
We'll see. But, you know, I really have little faith that microtransactions in games are going to go away. That tends to be the norm these days. That's how the publishers and developers make their money.
Maybe it could be just for the camos. There's a lot of little kids out there that would pay money just to have a really cool camo, like maybe say Black Matter or something.
Sure, definitely. But you know, I'd love to see some old school kill streaks and score streaks to come into play. You know, maybe a tank rolls through, starts blasting. Obviously, tanks were a big part of World War II.
Maybe they bring in the dogs like on World at War. You got some
Absolutely,
dogs just running around.
Those puppies were mean.
Yeah. And one kind of a side mention here that a lot of these younger kids, this will be even first generation, second generation of people. This will be the first Call of Duty they had of World War II. Nowadays, kids don't listen in school, so they've never actually had a World War II experience. So this game, maybe it could be an opportunity to educate these kids. Sledgehammer said that they were trying to keep it as realistic as possible. They were kind of weaved in and out of true events of the storyline, so maybe it could be used as an educational opportunity to teach the younger generations about World War II. So yeah, for a lot of these younger generations, this will be the first game that they've actually played historically, where it's not this futuristic pinball all over the place. So it'll be a great opportunity to see if they somehow incorporate education into Call of Duty World War II as well.
So the game releases on November 3rd. You can pre-order for early access to the beta, multiplayer beta. Get your hands on some old school Call of Duty. You can't beat that. There's a link in the video description to Amazon for any of you that haven't pre-ordered yet and want to do so. You can also like us on Facebook and Instagram for updates and new game reviews that we push out. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos on gameplay and discussions as well.
And until next time, my friends, stay satisfied.